For Crema Media's Polity, I'm Sane Dlamini. Retired nurse and author Connie Manse Ngcaba joins me to discuss her memoir, May I Have This Dance. Welcome, Makul.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
Okay.
A very interesting title, if I may say, May I Have This Dance. Why this title for a book? And what does this say about the bond you had with your husband?
Thank you, Sane. May I Have This Dance, actually, it's part of me in my adult life. Because when I met this gentleman, it was in a dancing hall.
Oh.
And I suspect because I'm tall and slender, and we came from the same town. Then he preferred dancing with me every now and again. He was an instructor. I was a student. And at some time, he kept on saying, Miss Beginner, can I have this dance? And you know, as the time went on, he used this sentence. And then when I was already a dancer, he could say, may I have this dance? Oh. At some stage, we became lovers and a husband in the end. But when we were enjoying ourselves together, he would say, may I have this dance? If at time, at any rate, we want to discuss something privately from the children, he would say to me, may I have this dance? Then we know that we need time to be together. But that is the bond between us, me and my husband.
Okay. And in the book, you mentioned that you were detained at the age of 57. How was
it? During that time, everybody was moaning at being because of the struggle. And my family was deeply affected because we're quite a big family and nobody was quiet in the family about what was happening in the country. And then during the state of emergency, 3 of my sons and myself were detained. I was 57, that was 1986. And May I Have This Dance came up again because after about 8 weeks, my husband came to see me for the first time. Oh. And I was very nice and thin, very ugly, with ringworms and all the nasty things you could get from a person who's staying in a place that the environment that is not very conducive to her. So when we met in this room, I could see that he doesn't really believe that it's me. You know, I know him. And being a nurse, you can identify something happening to somebody. So what I did, I just put my hand on the glass which is dividing us. And I said, may I have this dance? That made him relax and he felt this is my wife. But apart from that, being detained is not nice. It was not nice the 12 months that I was there. There were 2 weeks when I was in solitary confinement, especially the month that it was my birthday on the 19th, so I went out on the 20th. It was not good. But because it was something that was happening in the country, you couldn't cry too much because everybody it's happening to everybody. It was sort of an experience, apart from being painful, because my children were detained every now and again. And one of them was in detention and we didn't even know where he was. So it was not a very good situation, but it was not for us only. So we couldn't be very angry about it.
Yes. And you've published this book at the age of 85, and I've heard that you started writing it at 80. Why?
I'm a person who likes to write a little bit about myself, just generally. But my 80th birthday, my children made a surprise birthday.
Oh, nice.
And then at the end, they said I must say a vote of thanks. Mind you, they didn't tell me about the party. Now I have to say something.
Prepare.
But because I was very proud of what they did to me, to be together and doing this. So I thought I must share my life with them in different stages of dance, since it's 8. I think I did it beautifully because they were all excited and said, "Mama, can't you write this down?" Even my husband said, "Why don't you write it down so that we all know in the end what it means, your stages up to this day?" I didn't take it seriously then, but my husband kept on saying, "Remember, they will be coming for holidays. How far are you?" Then I started writing and writing. Then I felt now, in my own feelings now, I felt, let me do it. It's sort of an inventory. It's sort of coming out of myself. I must show everybody who am I. I started to feel that I understand myself. Then I kept on writing.
Nice. And in the book, you mentioned that every family must have a family constitution. Can you please tell us about that?
Yes, thanks. My husband was a principled person. He prepared things. If you plan something and say 1, 2, 3, 4, he doesn't expect you to start with 4 one day. He prefers everything to come the same. It was planned. So that is how we made our children grow up. They were close to us. We were young when we had them, and we had 6, and we made ourselves a unit. We were very united with them. And that made us keep on sitting. At the beginning, it was not meetings. It was just discussions with them. And we enjoyed what they were contributing to whatever we're saying. At a later stage, we found that we are gaining a lot from this group. So we need to have meetings. We need to have something, sort of like a business. And at the end of the day, we had a big workshop, and my husband said, we need to write this down. Wow. So that even if we're not here, they should continue doing whatever we are doing with them like this. And I think the most important thing was that our children were, they praised us. They kept on making us feel good being their parents. Whatever we were planning or doing, they used to be very thankful. They appreciated us. And so we wanted their children, even our great-grandchildren, to know where we come from, where they come from parents like us, and how they appreciated us. So we said we need to write it down. But if you write down a book and put it somewhere, at some stage it can get lost. But if you put a strong label by saying a constitution, then somebody will be able to identify herself with the constitution and keep it safe.
Yes. And are you involved in any community developments? Not
at the moment, but all my life, all my adult life, I've been a Young Women's Christian Association, a YWCA. We were doing everything to uplift the standard of our community. We were sort of running, let me say, we're ANC underground, and it was good. And professionally as a nurse, I specialize mainly with children. So I've been very close to parents, and then at some stage when I retired, forced retired, as a YWCE, we ran a street children's project, which grew up to be very big. And later, I thought we should make a child care center, because we had a big home. When we were retired, we bought a biggish home, and we felt it's big for us. Then part of it, we used it for child care. Fortunately, our children loved this, and they encouraged us to get out of this home and make the whole building into a childcare center. It's in an urban area. It's very, very good. It's very smart, let me put it that way. And we've, you know, when our children grew up, we're in an area that is a slum area now. It wasn't then. So we're helping some of the children from where our children grew up to come to this crèche, or you call it a childcare center. It's still running up to today, and our children have an organization that is paying for these children. But it's still on even today. It's not a small one. It's a very lovely one, and I love it.
And you grew up in Butterworth in the Eastern Cape. How was it?
I grew up in Butterworth because my father died when I was 9.5 years old, and then my mother had to go and work 6 months later after Kuruling Izila. So she had to provide for the younger ones. I'm the second last born. We are 6. So the 2 younger ones, she took them to her sister. Her elder sister was in Butterworth. So that's where we grew up, the 2 of us. And while she was a domestic worker in Johannesburg. So I grew up under this lady who was very strict, but, you know, I gained a lot out of it. You know, I was fully developed by staying at her home. And then from there I went to the high school, Hilldown High.
Yeah. And in conclusion, can you tell us about your children?
It's not easy to talk about your children, more especially in public, because all the good things that you know about them, you want to share with the people, and people will say, she doesn't know that they drink at night, they do this. But to cut the story short, I have 5 sons and 1 daughter. And my sons, the firstborn died, but he has a wife and a child. I would say we are a lucky family. All our children are working, they're very independent, they have got beautiful homes. As a parent, I feel very proud to be the mother of the 6 that I have. They have their own children, they have their own wives, and I'm very close to the daughters-in-law, very, very close. And the 1 daughter, which is the only daughter we have, she stays close to us. And when the father was sick, she was very close nursing her father. She retired very early in nursing. She is very strict and very clean lady, just like the father. She has her own beautiful home, and she looked after her father, and I felt very proud to have a daughter. And now it's my turn. She's always next to me. I have no regret to have 6. I have no regret. I have 22 grandchildren, actually 23 by now. And a couple of them are already working. I feel very, very proud to have the family that I have. And they love their father dearly, because he was very nice and quiet, though with a very strong mother. But our home has been, you know, many people envied to be watching a home like ours. We're not rich people, we're trying people, hard workers. We're 3 meals a day, loving family. That is the main thing in our family. We are very rich when it comes to love. We love and love and love each other. And I think that is what is making our unity to be so strong. Every December, everybody goes home, and we run Christmas parties in different ways. What a loving family.
That was Connie Manse Ngcaba speaking about her memoir, May I Have This Dance. Thank you, Makhulu.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart.
Thanks.